Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about what's been happening here in the market over the last couple of days as I've been gone, because before I took my little 2-day hiatus, what we were talking about was this trading channel that Bitcoin found itself in, and I was talking about back then that Bitcoin was sitting up here trying to get above this level of resistance at $3,575, but time and time again, Bitcoin failed to do so. And I talked about how that was a very bad sign. The fact that even though Bitcoin had a major bullish breakout right here, it came down back below this level of resistance so quickly, led me to believe that we were probably going to see some kind of bearish breakout coming out of this trading channel coming over the next couple of weeks. And in fact, it's happened a little bit quicker than I thought it would. As we can see, Bitcoin has broken below $3,500, come to the downside, gotten a little bit of support at $3,400, also another kind of semi-big even because it has 2 zeros in it, had a little bounce, and ever since then we've actually been moving down again, with Bitcoin recently garnering support down here around $3,333 and some change. So in today's video, we're going to be catching up with what's gone on in the Bitcoin market over the last couple of days. We're going to be talking about this bearish breakout, and we're going to be looking at a lot of different technicals to try and get to the bottom of where Bitcoin is going and where Bitcoin may be bottoming out during this little bearish rally. So if you guys enjoyed today's video and if you learned anything, definitely tell us in the comments section down below. Drop a like and hit that subscribe button. But without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Bitcoin, at the time of recording this, is currently trading around $3,380 on Coinbase. Is trading around $3,450 on Bitfinex. We still have that discrepancy that opened up back in November that has never closed. That having something to do with Tether, which we're actually going to be discussing here in just a second. But like I said, Bitcoin did come down here and break this level of support and move to the downside. And in today's video, I want to talk about where we might be bottoming out, because I don't necessarily think the bottom is in. I'm looking at some specific levels that we're going to talk about here in just a second. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and jump over to CoinMarketCap and do a small, short little crypto market recap before we get back into the TA, because there is something interesting I want to talk about here on CoinMarketCap today. And one of the first things I want to talk about is the fact that the majority of the market is in fact red. We see MobileGo, Chainlink, and Waves are in the double digit green, and we do see some green today. We see PayPal isn't moving at all, but we do see that the majority of the market is red. It's not a very deep red. We only see 2 double-digit losers in Dentacoin and Binance Coin. Incidentally enough, it's very interesting seeing Binance Coin being the biggest loser. Typically, Binance Coin performs very well, but it's not doing so today. One other thing that I wanted to mention was that Tether is currently sitting at the number 4 position. Now, Tether has actually gone back to its equilibrium. It's trading around $1.01 right now, but I find it very, very interesting that Tether is the number 4 cryptocurrency. Now, you can see it's only $1 million in market capitalization ahead of EOS, which is a very, very short lead, to the point where if we were to refresh this page in 15 minutes, Tether very well may be back down to number 5. But typically, you would see Tether down here somewhere between 7 and 8. And between 7 and 10, excuse me. So it's very interesting seeing Tether go all that, rally that much. And what that would lead me to believe that is that a lot of people are selling their cryptocurrencies, selling their Bitcoin, selling their Litecoin, selling their EOS, selling their Ethereum, selling their XRP. They're selling it into Tether, which is one of the reasons why we've seen Tether rise in this list, is because its market capitalization seems to be holding somewhat steady as the rest of the cryptocurrency market is not doing so. And a large reason for that would be that either people are keeping what money they have in Tether, or people are putting money into Tether, which in turn you can kind of analyze as that being a bearish thing for Bitcoin, because it means people are leaving the market. But of course, we already knew that. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and get back on into the TA. Before I keep talking about Bitcoin, there is something I need to mention on the Bitcoin shorts chart and the Bitcoin's longs chart. And that would be that, yes, Bitcoin shorts are rallying over the last couple of weeks, but we would expect that considering Bitcoin has been moving to the downside. What interests me is not that the Bitcoin shorts are rallying so quickly, it is that at the same time that Bitcoin shorts are rallying, so too are Bitcoin longs. And the reason that that's interesting is because typically what you see is that you will see shorts go up as longs go down, or you will see longs go up as shorts go down. You'll see them being traded off for one another. A lot of times you're not going to see 40,000 shorts and 40,000 longs at the exact same time. Sometimes you will, but a lot of times when you see a movement in the shorts, it will have an inverse correlation with a movement in the longs and vice versa. So a signal that I like to take from both of them moving in the same direction is an increase in volume and volatility, or a decrease in volume, volatility, and retail investor interest. And the reason that I would say that is because as Bitcoin shorts are rallying and as Bitcoin longs are rallying, well, the only way that both of these charts can rally is if there is more money being put into the longs and the shorts ecosystem, and we could extrapolate from that and say that there's more money being put into the rest of the cryptocurrency market reasonably as well. So the reason I'm pointing this out is because we see that longs are going up, shorts are going up, and that means that more money is flowing into the market, which is a very good thing to see, especially in times like these where we see Bitcoin is moving to the downside and currently looking for support. So even though Bitcoin shorts are going up, since Bitcoin longs are going up alongside them, that's actually kind of a good thing. So let's go ahead and talk about this on a bit of a longer term perspective for Bitcoin. Now, of course, Bitcoin did break support at $3,500, and of course, $3,500 was an important level of support. I talked about how important it was. It's not like the most important level of support. It was not a $6,000. It's not the end of the world that we've broken it, but we have broken it. And now we're moving to the downside, and now Bitcoin's kind of in one of those free fall territories where the market structure is yet to be reestablished after Bitcoin has just broken a semi-major level of support. So we're kind of looking for that bottom at the moment. And currently, I think where we're going to see one version of the bottom anyway. This may not be the permanent bottom. This bottom might not last for very long. But one place I think we're going to see a Bitcoin stop is potentially where it is right now. It's very possible that Bitcoin stops down here at $3,350. That would kind of surprise me. It's very possible that it does it. I don't want to discount that. I believe Bitcoin is sitting just a little bit above the weekly 200 weekly moving average, but we do see down here that Bitcoin's sitting just above that. So that is corresponding with one level of support right here around $3,300. But I think where Bitcoin is going to end up bottoming out, at least for the short term, is going to be on that on that weekly 200 weekly simple moving average that I just showed you, that just so happens to be corresponding almost perfectly. I'm going to stop moving the chart here in just a second. That just so happens to be corresponding almost perfectly with $3,300. The 200 weekly simple moving average is a very, very important moving average. I can show you on the S&P 500. If we come out here to the daily chart, we're going to have to come out to the weekly chart. If we come out to the weekly chart, we can see the 200 weekly SMA on the S&P 500 is a very important level of support. So too is the 100. These are important levels of support that we would expect Bitcoin to get support on, mainly just because they've proven to be so important in the past. They are important levels of support, so I would like to see that hold. Now, with that said, is $3,300 going to hold permanently, semi-permanently? Is Bitcoin going to fall through it and move towards $3,000? Now, that's a very possible scenario, and that's one that I do want to discuss here in today's video. I think that Bitcoin, in eventuality, is probably going to move down here to $3,300, mainly because that's where the strong support is. And a lot of times when you get close to strong support, it has this kind of magnetism, and it will drag the chart towards it. That's one of the reasons why when we saw Bitcoin coming down here to $6,000 and getting close to it, I would have said in some of these regions right around here, for example, that a lot of or right in here for a good example, I would have said, this is just an example, I'm not saying this about this part of the market, but a lot of times in cases like that, you might say, okay, well, it doesn't really feel like the market has enough bearish price action to bring it all the way down to that level of support. But because that level of support is so strong, a lot of times people will drive the market down, and sellers and bears will drive the market all the way down to it, giving a strong level of support this kind of magnetism, this kind of gravity to it, as I like to put it. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with $3,300. Now, the next question that comes out of that is $3,300 going to hold? Is Bitcoin going to manage to stay here, or is Bitcoin going to fall down to levels of support below that? Well, that is a question that I want to wait and see how Bitcoin touches $3,300, because $3,300 coinciding with the 200 weekly simple moving average is a very, very important and very strong level of support. Since it's on the weekly chart, Bitcoin could come all the way down to about $3,000, I'd say, and not properly break all the way through the 200 weekly simple moving average. It could still look like kind of a pseudo level of support. So I'm not saying that if we break $3,300, we're breaking the 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart necessarily. But considering we have that moving average right there, a very important moving average across many different markets, across many different cryptocurrencies, across many different charts, that is a very strong level of support, giving us support in between the region of about $3,000 to $3,300. And that's the point I want to make in today's video, is that even though there's a decent chance that we break $3,300, I think the zone of support between $3,300 and $3,000, at least for the time being, is remarkably strong. And I am not putting any bets on Bitcoin going below $3,000 in the next couple couple of months. Now, with that said, depending on how Bitcoin develops here over the next couple of weeks, that may change. But based on the way the market looks like right now, it looks to me like $3,000 to $3,300 is going to hold, and that our initial prediction of Bitcoin trading sideways for a large portion of 2019 is likewise also going to hold. So tell me in the comment section down below, guys, what you think of that. Do you think that Bitcoin is going to hold $3,300? Do you think Bitcoin is going to break $3,300? I would love to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. And guys, if you want to learn how to do technical analysis, I do highly recommend it. I love doing technical analysis. It's one of the most fun things that I do. I really do enjoy it, and it's an enjoyable pastime. It's a very profitable skill to know, and it's a very profitable skill to have. You can use it to do your technical analysis on your trades, your investments. You can go and start a YouTube channel, which is also a very fun thing to do. I love making YouTube videos. But anyway, guys, if you want to learn how to do TA, I do highly recommend the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, linked in the description. We go over in that course a lot of the different concepts, in fact, all the different concepts that we discussed in today's video in a lot more detail, in more of a curriculum-based format instead of a update video-based format the way we do here on YouTube. Anyway, guys, if you're interested in that, check out the link. But if you're not, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and tell us in the comment section down below what you thought. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.